focus on some,
Sorry, I
gonna
forgot to start that.
focus on some multifamily properties in the area. And in doing that, I got to build the avatar out. So, and then in building the avatar out, knowing what questions to ask. I haven't been to Commercial Academy yet. So just trying to get a better understanding of some of the things that I should be asking for other than a T3 and a T12 and the last or the rent roll and all that other shit stuff.
But none of that has anything to do with the marketing.
Sure it does.
No, that's sales. That's negotiation. That's working the opportunity and working the deal. It had nothing to do with getting in front of them. It had nothing to do with the avatar.
Okay. So let's reverse gears then. How can I work on getting in front of them? I already have the properties. I got somebody digging up the rest of the contact information. So going from there, the best avenue of approach based off of whatever information I gather, be it email or phone numbers or stuff like that.
So you're asking what type of campaign?
Yes.
Multiple campaigns, multiple touches, multiple styles of campaigns.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I've been teaching you this for like the last 3 months.
I know. You're telling me things that I don't want to hear though.
No, you want me to tell you the exact answer and I can't tell you that.
No, because it's going to depend on each individual person, the circumstances, the property and all that stuff. I get it.
And what you're capable of doing and what you're going to stay consistent with and what's actually going to work given the audience that you're going after. Now, if you can tell me the avatar, then I can give you some suggestions and ideas on how I probably would go about attacking that avatar. But until you can tell me the age demographics, how long have they owned these properties, where do they typically get their information, what's their situation, what's their problems, what are some of the objections that they're going to have? It's hard to, I could basically tell you, do any marketing campaign, dude, try it out, test it.
Okay, I got you.
Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying now. That makes a lot more sense because I know that the properties have been owned for a long time, except a couple of them that were sold or bought in 20 and 22, which they paid top dollar for some of these properties. I don't know why, but and then there's a handful that are in opportunity zones that I'm assuming have been held for a while. So they've already got their money back on their property and they're sitting on passive income. So the opportunity of selling, I'm not sure of as of yet.
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that type of a campaign, right? Are these people, have they owned these buildings for 20, 30 years versus somebody that's owned it 1 or 2 years, right? The motivation to let loose of the property is completely different. Therefore, the messaging, how I would go about getting in front of them, what I'm going to actually try to say to get their attention, right, would be different if I'm talking to 85-year-old Marie who's owned the property for 25, 30 years and all she's ready to do is be done with the headaches and not need to deal with it anymore. She's made her money. She's looking at enjoying life and getting some money stockpiled maybe, right, to hand down. Vice the 2-year into this game, Aaron, who bought the property with goals to basically raise rents, raise valuation, offload this thing in a handful of years, move on to the next big project, right?
Gotcha.
Her motivation to let loose of that is going to be completely different than Marie's. Does that make sense?
Much.
That's where you really got to sit down and dissect. Yeah, you're getting data and you're getting a list and you're getting names and property address, and that's cool. But sit down and really do the research and find out who are these people that own these type of properties that I've got this information on.
Got it.
Does the strategy change with a smaller multifamily than like a several hundred unit property?
Now, careful with the words that you're using. Strategy, no, because strategy is tactic, right? That's not necessarily going to change, but message.
Message, okay.
Right? Message will change, which is our market.
Yeah, because they're smaller, they're between 6 and 24 doors, so nothing outrageous, but
those are my bread and butters back in the day. Most of the time, those are, if I'm talking to the 70, 80, 85-year-old individual who's had this property, right, for 25, 30, 35 years, they've only owned a couple of these 4, 6, 8, 12 unit type buildings. Most of them are homegrown, local people.
Right.
They've had these things forever. A lot of times they're undermanaged. A lot of times they're under rented, was what we were seeing. Condition was like just enough to keep that bare basic rent in place.
Opportunity zones.
They tried to, maintain them themselves. They didn't put a lot of time, energy, and effort into it. And they're getting up there in age, and it's getting harder and harder and harder to deal with that, right? They're tired of dealing with evictions. They're tired of dealing with tenant screenings. Sometimes we would come across properties that they found most of the properties in this area, the people they got a lot of slum people living there, squatters living there. They're not trying to get them out because, hey, squatter in my building is better than a vacant building. Right?
Yeah, but you're not making any money on that.
Yeah, but they look at it like it's going to cost me too much money to fix that thing up and even get somebody decent in there. So I might as well just let the squatter. This was the pain that a lot of our people that fit that type of property, that was our avatar.
Got it.
So the messaging that we would put in front of them would be geared around getting rid of that. Stop having that headache. We love taking that stuff on. We talk about how we just helped Terry down the street, around the corner, get away from his 4-unit building. Taxes is another thing. How are they current on taxes, back in taxes, right? That opens up a whole other set of messaging that I can bring in.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I was going to start digging up after because I'm mapping them out right now, looking to find it. I'm actually found like 6 different 10-door and 12-door that have they're in opportunity zones, in like super up and coming areas. They're doing a lot of regentrification. There's one that's right by the stadium that would be a perfect Airbnb, shit like that. Stuff.
How many? Give me an idea of your list, the data that you're getting your hands on.
Right now, I just have addresses. That's it.
How many?
I think it was like 12 or 13 different properties.
Beautiful. This would be I would attack this in a very targeted marketing campaign. This would not be a shotgun style campaign.
No,
mass blast of messaging, right? What do I mean by targeting? This is like my dream list right here. You got 12, 13, 15 addresses. I'd go through and do all my desktop analysis up front. I would know everything there is to know that's out there in public records about 123 Main Street before I even reached out to the owner of 123 Main Street.
Gotcha. That was my next step. I'm building out my spreadsheet. Like I said, I already did like the mapping of everything, found out where they're at with the opportunity zones and all that type of stuff. Also found out that several of them, they're in fantastic neighborhoods. So they're kind of like off the list right now because they're going to be stupid expensive. I don't know if you're familiar with Tampa, with Hyde Park and all that area, South Tampa. Yeah, it's all top shelf stuff. So they're kind of like by the wayside, but there's a perfect one. It's 24 doors that I would love to snag that's like dead smack in the center of Hyde Park, but it's probably going to be a small child donation.
Hey, Bob, I know enough to be dangerous about opportunity zones. I listened to this one podcast that was talking about you can take active funds that you got and put it into an opportunity zone. And then you have to like match or something the amount you put in with the reno, and then you can defer taxes. I don't know. Listen to Rod Khleif's multifamily podcast. There's one specifically for opportunity zones, but there's definitely ways you can leverage your profits to defer taxes by doing improvements in opportunity zones.
Okay. What was the guy's name again?
Rod Khleif.
Khleif. I think I've heard that name before.
Does that make sense, Bob, when I say attack it in a very strategic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Direct attack marketing.
It gives me more opportunities to layer the effects. And that's, I mean, you know what I do. So layering the effects, having all the bullets lined up and then layering the effects and dropping them strategically makes 100% perfect sense.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to do this research if they answer you.
Regardless. Yeah.
Right. So you might as well just, it's a small list, just do it up front. And as you've already said, I'm shelving a couple of these. I'd love them, but they just don't make sense for the strategy or for what I'm trying to do right this minute.
Right.
Great. Now I don't even have to waste my time on those, right? And I narrow, take this 15 and you get it down to whatever it ends up shaking out to be. And let's say there's your, top 10 out of there. These 10, I would be happy getting all 10 of these. Great. I want to go hard now at this point. Now I can go and attack each one of these independently with its own marketing strategy against each one. Or maybe these 3 are very similar. So these 3 I'm going to do this with them. These 2 over here are similar. I'm going to throw this type of marketing message and this type of marketing tactic at it. And then these ones over here, maybe they're a little bit more independent. Maybe I do something slightly different over here because it makes sense to get those that way. That make sense?
Mm-hmm. No, that's good.
But it all comes down to, at the end of the day, the avatar of those properties.
I think your mic is losing batteries or something.
Is it cutting in and out?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to have to jump to the board, so we're listening today. Is that better?
It's all good. I can hear you. That's it. That's all that matters.
Well, no, I wanted to make sure it's. Is that better?
Yep. Much better.
All right. If it starts to cut out again, let me know. It might be the batteries are going dead.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
No, I'm sure I'm going to have to dig into the Commercial Academy books and just start reading some more of that information just so I could dig into more specificity of what I need to look up.
And once you get in touch with somebody, that becomes the easy part. You want to know as much data about rent roll, income coming in, expenses, all the details.
Yeah, that
financials.
O&M. Yep.
Especially you get 6 and above, that's really what starts to base the value.
What do you mean 6 and above?
6 and above is considered commercial value of that property.
Oh yeah, doors. Yeah. The sweet spots are 16 and 32. At 16, it's self-sustaining for everything. At 32 is 100% passive after that. So yeah, I learned that real fast. So that's all I
Victor,
got.
you get your voice back?
It's getting there. It's getting there.
First, I was like, I'll take that as a no. You got anything today? Any questions? Marketing wise, sales wise, anything like that?
No. Just being a fly on the wall. Past week has been hard on the business. I haven't been around, so my wife flies out tomorrow, so I haven't been able to mastermind with her. She goes back Sunday, so everything should be back to normal next week.
All right, take some downtime, man. All right.
Yeah.
Not gonna implode on you.
Just being patient, hanging in there.
Marie, Aaron, anything specific? Questions, thoughts, anything?
I have my call with Roger right after this to start getting everything set up for the new website, so no real questions until I get that up and going. Created a Facebook account for it, Instagram account for it, YouTube account. I think I covered everything for now.
Okay.
Unless
I'll
there's anything
set
else you can think
Jake's-
of.
I got your email. I'll set Jake's access up and send it over.
Okay. Should we create a separate TikTok account just for that business?
Real estate wise, I haven't fully wrapped. I think it's good to be on it. I haven't wrapped my head around some strategies yet. Your other stuff though, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I've been focusing on there. Just the videos with the kids, teaching my kids financial education and stuff. Makes it more fun.
Gary, you got anything?
Does Terry know you're talking to him? Terry?
Oh, Terry, I'm here. Yeah, sorry, going in to rent a piece of equipment. I got nothing right now for you. Eric and I are putting some things together. He put another post out today, so no, we're doing good.
Nobody's got anything specific, then we will call it a day. I am working on a couple week series of things, but I'm not quite ready to start it today. Probably start it next week.
I got one for you. Through the Google stuff, setting up the Google Business Suite.
Mhm.
That might be something to add to your list because I'd be curious about that. I have mine set up through GoDaddy with the Outlook. I'd eventually like to move everything to that Google Business Suite, make it a lot easier, open up a Gmail account because obviously it doesn't cost anything.
Well, the Google Business Workplace, it's called Workspace now, or Workplace, not
Okay.
Business Suite. I think it's for one email, it's like $6 a month or $7 a month, something like that.
Cutting it in half is always a plus.
That would be actually, I'll tell Roger, that'd be a good topic for one of his days. Not that it has anything to do with SEO, but it's more on his side, on the operation side. That's what he
Okay.
kind of runs for us.
Cool.
He knows kind of the details behind what Google's done with their workspace. And it's a simple setup. And the hardest part's going to be the emails that you currently have over there in Outlook. They're not going to come over. That's
Yeah,
all.
I know. But it'll
Without
help
going in and
filter
forwarding
out
some
all the
things
ones.
or saving some stuff and holding on to it. That'd be it.
Okay.
As far as getting it up and running though, just kind of walk through the Google Suite setup, and at one point it'll ask you to sign into GoDaddy. It does its own MX record tie-in, and you're good to go.
Ooh, okay. Good to know.
And just so you know, Sean, your microphone does sound like crap.
Now it does. It's dying. I wasn't going to say anything.
It just sounds like this at this point. It's like, wait, what are you trying to say, Sean? I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say.
How about now?
Ooh, there you go.
Sounds good now.
Batteries must have been getting dead.
Yeah, it was just really, really muffled. Okay, so anything else that I need to set up right now that you can think of? Is it just the Facebook business page, Instagram, and YouTube?
You're talking about for the business with Jake?
Yeah.
You got the GBP?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for it to get like approved, but I
Yep.
set everything up.
Then
And
no.
for that, I just used one of the properties that I own out there.
Yeah, the only thing you might have happen with that is they might come back and ask for a video of the place. We have seen that with Google if you're using a home address, a residential address as the address of it, where they want to say, I think Jen Josie had to go through this. She was using their Airbnb as the address.
Right.
She had to go over there and make it look like, here's my computer, here's my desk. You know, here there's a bookshelf over here. This is the front door of my office. You know, this room is the office of in this house.
Oh, that's funny.
And I told her, like, because they asked for to show something that showed like the business name or something like that. I said, just have your corporate entity book sitting there and just, show in the video, like, here's our corporate book and this type of stuff. And it worked. It got it approved.
Okay,
So Jake might have to go do that for you.
that's fine. He's there. He's local.
We tried to use my dad's address to do Access Home Buyers back in Ohio. And at first it went through and then they suspended it. And I haven't looked at what they want. I'll look at it when I get ready to go back to Ohio in a couple weeks, because if they want a video, I'm just going to use my dad's office and say, this is my office.
Right. Okay.
But all good.
Oh,